Welcome to Create Momentum for Positive Mindset. Today, my guest is Dr. Lavan Baskaran. He has been in the UK National Health for 15 years. He's a doctor. So first of all, I want to congratulate you that you have 5,000 followers in your Instagram, and your YouTube channel is phenomenal, which helps a lot because you talk about a lot of health issues, which could be beneficial for a public. So how are you doing today?
Thank you so much, Shazza, for the introduction. Yeah, I'm doing well, actually. I just finished work like yourself, just came home, and like you as well, when we organized this, although I'm tired, I said, no, I promised a friend I would have a chat. And it's always nice to catch up with people after a long time. It's been a while since we've caught up.
Yeah, it was my starting point, but now, you know, as time goes, you get busy. As you know, I have a young little one, so my more time I give her as well. So that's why I was in between. I was not doing a lot of podcasts. So I've just slowed down. As you know, work take a lot of your energy. And plus, if you are doing 13, 14 hours of work after you come, so sometimes you don't have no energy in your body. You know it because you must doing the long hours.
Yeah. No, I sympathize with it as well. Work is work at the end of the day, you know, even if you try to fit in a break, long days. But like you said, it's important. We want to help the family, provide for the family, also enjoy the day. So working hard and trying to spend that time with the kids after is always nice.
Of course. So, Lavan, tell me, why did you choose the profession of to become a doctor?
I wanted, Shazza, a job where I would like to do something where I'm working every day, but also if I am earning money, I wanted to help people at the same time. And there was a few options. I think, you know, teaching, I like teaching, I like history, I like religious studies. So I thought maybe I'll be a teacher one day. And I enjoyed it, you know, in teaching. But then I thought with medicine, the beauty is you can see some change. You know, you can help someone and make a difference. And the wonderful thing with my job is I don't have to always give medication or prescription. Even just talking and listening, that can make a big difference. We have some patients who will come and talk to us for 10, 15 minutes, and they feel better. Their mental health is better. They feel they've shared their stress, and they don't need a medication. They go off happy. So I think it was just the fact that I could help people, but at the same time earn a living. And the beauty with medicine is also the teaching side, which I love. I can still do that. I teach medical students, which is lovely. So I get a little bit of everything. So it gives variety, which is good.
So how long you've been in the profession of medicine or medical, you say?
So I became a doctor in 2007. So what, 15 years or so now, 15, 16 years I've been a doctor now. So we started as a junior doctor for the first few years, and then I went to general practice because I like a little bit of everything. I don't like just focusing on one thing. I like to, if a patient comes through the door, I enjoy the surprise of what could they have. It's not just one thing all the time.
Okay, so you, in your career, in this career of as being a doctor, so there must be different branches. You went through, you were a junior doctor, then you become a senior doctor. So what else you have specialized in?
Sure, yeah. So what happens is, although I said I like a little bit of everything, sometimes it's nice to have a bit of expertise in something. So the first kind of two things I kind of more specialized in was diabetes and ear, nose, and throat, E.N.T. Diabetes, because unfortunately it's becoming more and more common. Obviously, being South Asian men like yourself and me, we are very high risk, unfortunately. So having relatives and knowing that diabetes, unfortunately, increases our risk of stroke, increases our risk of heart attack. I wanted to make sure I understood the subject a lot. And there's a lot going on in diabetes. We have these wonderful new medications now that can help protect our body as well as help diabetes. So I thought I wanted to go into diabetes, E.N.T, ear, nose, and throat. I loved. There's a lot we can do for that as well. And then slowly, I just wanted to expand a bit more. So surgery, which is cutting things out, minor surgery, we call it. So if you come to your doctor and you wanted, say you've got a cyst on your hand, I enjoyed that side as well. We can give local anesthetic and we can cut it out and we can suture it just in a normal clinic. And then finally, A.D.H.D, which is hyperactive disorder, where children who find it difficult to concentrate, they struggle to study. And the wonderful thing is we can do a lot to help them medication-wise and support-wise, where we can help them focus so that from one day they're considered troublemaker at school and causing problem, next day with our help they're actually, you know, studying hard, working. So it's quite a fulfilling thing to see from the other side.
Okay. So just another question. For next 5 years in your profession, where do you see yourself?
Good question. It's really difficult, Shahzad, because with the National Health Service, it's in a very difficult place at the moment. Unfortunately, there's a lot of frustration. A lot of staff are getting burnt out. It was a difficult time during COVID. A lot of the stresses we had, you know, I'm sure for you as well, Shahzad, during that time when there was lockdowns, the typical things of seeing family, friends, talking, releasing stress to your friends, all that disappeared for a year or two. We weren't able to communicate the same way. And as a result, that's had a massive impact on people's mental health. We've had a lot of people really struggling, really strong, confident people coming to us saying, I don't know what it is, but I just feel sad. I don't know how to get out of it. And their normal structures have been affected. And this has happened a lot in the NHS as well. People have kind of been constantly working without the breaks. And unfortunately, as a result, as well as waiting lists to see doctors, the NHS is really, really struggling now. So I do feel in some sense, I'll always be part of the NHS. My dad is a GP. He's part of the NHS. He's worked for 40 years. So there'll always be a part of me, maybe 2-3 days, definitely focused on NHS. But maybe another 2 days, I'll try something a little bit different, maybe completely out of medicine. The great thing is we get very well respected by other colleagues. People take our opinions very seriously. So sometimes there is these opportunities to maybe go to charities and they can ask, not on medical side, but generally how to manage teams and people. And we could give our input to that. So I think something very much outside medicine, I'll probably do 2 or 3 days a week.
Of course, as you mentioned the name of pandemic, as you feel that in any situation, if it said the less fear you feel, the better you live. Again, if you put it in your mind that negative thoughts, it's going to happen. Correct. So it's automatically given a message to your mind that that's going to happen. Because a lot of the problem was that with the people, it's not what the actual COVID, it was the fear that what's going to happen. Me by myself, as in our last podcast, as I said, in the evening time, I didn't eat food because I was anxious about my family, what's going to happen, how I'm going to live. But difficult time and challenges has gone through. As you say, it's accept the challenge so you may feel the exhilaration of victory. Yeah. Correct. So that's what it is. So I want to say to the public, research is very important. If you don't research, and you know, there is many things, it comes up sorts of information, but we need to see what is right, what is wrong. So that's why I researched, and after the research, I become very calm. Good. And another thing I want to ask you, as you raised mental health, so now we are, say, 50-50, we are out of pandemic. Because now, you know, a lot of people has lost their jobs. They don't have many resources. So however, you see the inflation is gone 5.5%. Now, what impact it will make to the people who don't have many resources? What do you say on that?
Absolutely. I know this is what I worry about more. And in fact, during the COVID, a lot of people were worried about this even before it finished. People said these lockdowns, these loss of jobs, stopping certain events. Yes, it may stop the spread of COVID, but the long-term implications financially for people is going to carry on. And that's what we're seeing now, unfortunately. Now, after, many months of not having set work, not, entertainment being open fully, we are seeing those job losses now. And we are in a very difficult place. And exactly like you said, Shahzad, the mental health, the mindset is so important. When that was all happening, if you are in that negative aspect where you're thinking, God, everything's going to get worse and worse from now, you are not going to be looking for new jobs, new opportunities to arise. A lot of people actually took advantage during the COVID time in a good way. They were having a very positive mindset saying, there's nothing I can do about this. This is coming. I just need to find opportunities now. Maybe setting up. So what a lot of people did was, while they were at home, while they were working from home, they were having what we call side hustles or projects that they were working on. so that when finally everything lifted, they released. So they did very well throughout all of this, and you know, very good luck to them and how they do it. For the people who are now struggling, we need support as best as we can. And I do a lot of work with what we call social prescribing. Social prescribing is where, unfortunately, when you have financial stress, when you have employment stress, when you have mental stress, you will then start having physical symptoms. You'll wake up very tired, very achy, having body ache, and then you'll see your doctor. Your doctor will think you're just depressed and give antidepressants and things. But actually, if we can help support the other bit, the housing, the employment, the work, you will also feel your mindset is better, and then you'll feel better. So we now have something called social prescribers in our practices, in GP practices. And these are people, as soon as I hear the story, I've lost my job, I had this, my housing is bad, I actually pass, because I feel it's not medical, I pass it to someone who knows this very well, who will then contact the various people to get support, whether that's financial, help them find a job, help them do a CV, and we hopefully will lift these people out. The other thing is we're trying to get mental health counselors, people to sit and talk you through just how you're being very positive, Shahzad. We need people like that. So we need people who can talk their way through to that patient to make them feel stronger and that they're ready to try a new opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And another thing is this, I just was thinking about that now, a lot of, you said positive thinking, but you know, when you are in such a bad situation, and as I mentioned, one of my podcasts which I made where I didn't have money to eat food and I was in a bad situation. Obviously, when you go in a bad situation, so you will not think for anything positive, because around you, everything is like a darkness. But many people will take it. Many people, they will lose their hope. But however, there's always a way where you can do things in a better way, because this pandemic was an opportunity for many people. They made it, and they have become financially free.
Yeah.
So good, as you said, good luck to them. So how did you thought that that you will, as a medical profession, you want to transform this information in YouTube or in Instagram to help people?
Yeah, I was one of those people that took advantage. I don't gain any money from the YouTube stuff, but I've always wanted to release videos to help people, because a lot of the time people Google, and I wanted to do it from someone who's read and understood it. So things like cholesterol, for example, I was doing a lot of work up until the pandemic where a patient has a high cholesterol. I will call that patient, explain to them diet, exercise, eat this type of thing, do this type of it, put the phone down. Another one, oh, another cholesterol, call that patient. And then I thought, just as the pandemic came, why am I doing this 100, 200 times a month? Why don't I create a video that explains all of it, and we can actually text message this out? So every time someone has a high cholesterol, everyone has mobile phone now. So you can say, to Shahzad, your cholesterol is 6.7. Try and lose some weight, try and do this. However, if you're stuck, watch this video, it can help you. So I thought of that idea, and then during the lockdown time, I realized so many people were watching YouTube. People are on their phone more, they're on Instagram more. So I thought this may be an opportunity to do it. And I didn't think much of it. I said, we'll have a go and see. And then thankfully, a lot of people did respond to that. And now through Instagram, I meet people, great people like yourself. I have a lot of nice friends. I haven't actually officially met face to face, but I would call them friends, fitness instructors, nutritionalists, osteopaths, and in people, retired people who still communicate with me, sometimes weekly, sometimes even daily. Very good people. And I would never have had that opportunity if I hadn't gone on YouTube and Instagram. So although it's been lovely for me and watching the videos and how popular it's been, more than that, it's the friendships and the networks I've made. I value so much now. And it's a very nice supportive network. And some of them, they do messages, say, oh, Lavan, I really want to know more about this subject. So the next time I write that down, I think, okay, I've got to make a video about that when I have some time. And so a lot of the videos, the order it's been coming, things like the last few, diarrhea, constipation, those kind of topics are a bit strange topics, but it's because people had asked me. They said, what do I do with diarrhea when I have it? I'm scared. So I said, oh, let me make a video that you understand easily. And that's why we make these videos now.
So do you have your own team, or would you do it like with the two people, where you have a camera, or you have a full team who guide you how you need to do it?
So I have a person who films it and actually does the editing for it. So they'll, I don't know, because when I was doing it initially, I put it on a tripod and just stand in front of the camera. But what they were saying is sometimes people lose interest if you're just looking at one screen the whole time. So what they said is if they come and they film, what they'll do is do kind of close angle shots, further shots. And then they started saying, you know, look, we can get some other images. We can film people walking down the street, put that in. I don't understand the editing part. So that part I leave to them. So they film me and they edit it. So now I pay for them. So people say, oh, you know, you must be earning loads to then pay. I do it out of my own pocket, but I'm happy to do that because actually if someone, I always tell, if one person learns something from my video, that's enough for me. I'm very satisfied. And so far the feedback has been lovely. You know, people from abroad, not even England, Zambia, Pakistan, they will write lovely messages because they don't have primary care, they don't have GPs. So it's been very heartwarming.
As you said, you know, you're not doing it for the money, you're doing it for good deed. So you're not worried about subscriber or followers. You want to do a good thing to become great.
Correct. So for me, Shazad, there was this little dream inside my head, saying if I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'm happy. That's all I want. It's just to feel good about myself. Because what I thought is if I didn't hit that, then I'll have to do that for many, many years. But now that I've done it, it's more for pleasure now. Instagram, it's become quite an interesting thing because the followers keep kind of increasing. And it's a little, you can play a little bit around with it. You can put kind of quotes and, you know, historic, all the things I love. I love history. I love traveling. So it's in a way for, I think Instagram is for my children. One day when they're older, they can see, oh, dad did this. On Fridays, he talks about different countries, and it's not for other people. I do that quote for myself. But what's interesting, lots of people look forward to that Friday history talk about a different subject, about what happened on this day. So YouTube was purely to hit 1,000, and now I'm happy. I do it, but I'm happy with it. Instagram is now, I'm finding quite a bit of fun. But yeah, for me, it doesn't bother. It's helping people, and people still feedback that it helps them. As long as that keeps going, I'll carry on. The moment some, you know, people say, oh, it's a bit of a waste of time, do your effort somewhere else, I'll probably stop. But so far, very nice comments from people.
But again, if you love something, so again, people will be negative. There is no, I mean, in everything, whenever you start something, a profession or a career or a business, there is a negative feedback. So I will tell you, whatever you are doing, in my eye, you are doing a great job because you are, as you're saying, that if you are growing organically, maybe not 1,000 people, maybe 10 people watched it, and out of 10, one person will take something out of it. So it means you have done your job.
Correct.
Or it will give you the feeling of satisfaction, which I believe in. So another thing, it came out of my mind. I was just listening to this podcast. You know why people don't focus nowadays a lot?
Now, in terms of when they're working or when they're watching?
Anything they're doing, they don't focus much. Their focus is distracted a lot.
Correct. That's actually a lot to do with the stresses that we have at the moment. Pre-pandemic, even before, the amount we used to take on, we call it the sensation that comes through. So the visual cues we have, the hearing cues that we have, it's much more advanced than it used to be. So nowadays we have too many distractions in life. Even today, my wife was telling me, you're doing 20 things in the daytime, and in the evening because what we feel like, you know, taking opportunities, meeting people, networking, that's become almost like an obsession. So a lot of people are doing this, and now we are so global. You think now, 10 years ago, because we didn't have Instagram, social media, so we just knew the person down the road, the person we work with, the person in the coffee shop. Now, all of a sudden, just at the tip of your hand, you are communicating with people abroad. There's many times people from Japan, India, Saudi Arabia, by the click of a button, they're Instagramming me, DMing me, oh, lovely video, really nice to meet you, that kind of thing. So I think we have too much, too many things going on at the moment that now trying to focus and tackle one thing is difficult. That's why, you know, things like meditation, yoga, I highly encourage people, because sometimes that provides a focus in the morning, allowing you to actually function in the morning, in the day, in a much more focused way than being distracted.
So do you agree the human being naturally, they can give attention or focus one or two at a time, not more than that, because phone is the biggest distraction. We use phone in a day, which was about 10 years ago, it was about 150 times. Today, is it about 2,617 times?
Wow. I'm not surprised at you. You think even now, I have to sometimes when I come home, I have to be very strict and put the phone in another room because I want to, what I worry about, especially with families now, is when the attention's on the phone, that quality time with children, it's distracted. People say, oh no, I just look at it quickly every 10 minutes. But every time you do that, your mind focus goes. What you need to do is actually put the phone away in another room and enjoy that time with the children, or enjoy that time with your partner, or even when you're eating. If you can't tell me you're eating and tasting the food properly, if you're looking at your phone, there's pediatricians, there's child doctors who will say, even, when you feed your child and they're watching, they're not actually tasting the food because they're distracted watching TV. So it's really important to actually sometimes spend some time away from these electronics. Dinners have to go, and trust me, Shahzad, I don't do this very often either, but sitting with your partner, eating, talking, those simple things you need to get back and do. We need to reverse a little bit. There is a good place for phones. There is a good place for social media. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of good things, but it has to be regulated or put in a set way.
Okay, with the last question, we'll wrap up. With consulting, social media, and Zoom, how you could help to the people?
So I think Zoom is a wonderful platform. I don't think it's as good as being in a lecture theatre or a hall talking. I think there's a lot of physical interaction, watching people's signs that we miss. But on a platform, the way we teach now for students, paramedics, other doctors, you think even 2 weeks ago, I did a talk for about 52 people, and it was across the country. That would never have happened, to try and organize that event. And remember, I can do that for an hour, 9 to 10, and 10 o'clock start my surgery seeing patients. That would never have happened. I would have had to go travel somewhere. That would have taken an hour and a half to come. So I think that the change that's happened with Zoom and this using IT, I think has been a positive. What I do say is, though, we can't just stick to that. I think we need to get back into some normality, meeting people in places and events, because that networking is very important. You don't want to lose that.
Dr. Lavan, thank you very much. I much appreciate that you have taken your busy time out and given to create momentum. Second time. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much, Shahzad. Take care.